And now it's time for Ask Roz and Mocha.
Time for the Ask Roz and Mocha podcast. Love this. Hello, Shannon. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Is this the first time that you've been on the podcast?
Technically, no. I went under a false name a few weeks ago for an FML.
Oh, okay.
So, wait.
Yes.
So is Shannon your real name then?
Shannon's my real name.
Okay.
damn.
So all people have to do now is to go back a couple of episodes and listen to any of the FMLs.
Ooh, we'll see.
Damn.
That seems like a weird thing to admit.
I know. Why would you admit that?
At the time, I was a little bit embarrassed, but the advice you guys gave me was awesome. So
Hold on.
no,
Wait.
Shem.
Well, Shem,
If you figured out, I don't think we should say.
Hold on. We can We can bleep this if it's too much. Go ahead, Shem.
No, I gotta find it first.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Stand by.
I could
Interesting.
probably tell you
All
quicker.
right. Shannon, go ahead.
The investigators are on the case. Don't you worry, Shannon.
In the meantime, what's your question for the room?
So my question is, what is a food that you guys liked as a child but can't stand now?
Campbell's tomato soup. Without question.
Yeah.
Without question.
Mine is going to be like the Chef Boyardee, like ravioli or
Beef
beefaroni. Yeah. Or even like the Heinz, like the Alphagetti, all that stuff.
What's yours, Shannon?
Ooh, I was tossing up between chocolate pudding or bananas.
Good ones. Chocolate.
Why for each? Why?
I think for chocolate pudding, I think I just overdid it as a kid.
Yeah.
And bananas, I think it was like a PTSD situation where I think I got like a slimy one or something, and I just can't do it anymore.
Right. Also cereal. I used to have cereal when I was a kid. I don't have cereal anymore.
Do you guys have answers, Shem?
Yeah, I used to eat liver a lot.
Oh!
No, my mom.
No, your mom made you though.
No, I used to request
did.
it.
Oh,
yeah.
I used to
That's so good.
love it.
Liver and onions is amazing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey man, I'm with Maury, man. I used to eat that for sure.
Hell no.
Not anymore though.
Hell no.
Tim Maury?
Great question, by the way. I was going to say.
You figured it out.
Damn. Wow, More. You didn't have to go that far, bro. Damn.
You could have just said, hey, we know.
Yeah.
I was going to say hamburger helper.
Oh.
Another good one.
That's
Yeah.
another good one.
When was the last time you had it?
My dad still uses it, and I can't. It just tastes awful.
It does, huh?
So when
Yeah.
was the last time you had it?
I think like Christmas time, he puts it in stuff.
Hamburger helper.
I think he mixes it in with stuffing.
Really? Huh?
Yeah. Oh.
It's interesting because like when I was a kid, like there was stuff that I loved that I don't think I would love now, but I would make it from scratch now. Like I would do the sort of home cook version of it, right?
Sure.
Which is I remember so often as a kid. We would have sloppy joes, right?
Sure.
But it was like my mom would cook hamburger, and then I'm sure it was like from a can or something like that, right? And you mix it all together, and she had it in a big bowl in the middle of the table, and all we got was just like plates with like toasted bread,
Yeah.
and then you would just all reach into this one big sloppy joe bowl. Right. So I love that, but I think that I would probably hate that now if I ate it. I can't do tomato soup anymore because Campbell's soup is just too sweet. It's only sugar. And I found it disgusting when I had it as an adult.
I still have 3 cans a week.
That's terrible. Terrible.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to always want shake and bake.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I had it, but it was one of those situations. We lived in a house where we don't need to buy it. I can make it at home.
Right.
Right? Like we have it at home. And then my mom would make it or her version of shake and bake, and it wasn't the same.
No.
Ooh, I'm going to add in powdered potato.
Powdered potato?
Potato?
Yeah, it's like
Mashed potato?
like powdered mashed potato. You add water or milk or whatever to thicken it.
Really?
Oh, gross. No, thanks.
Boxed potatoes. Nope.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had. Maybe I have at like some event or something like that where it's like a powdered potato. But yeah, it's weird. That stuff is weird how you can just add water to something and then it just becomes potatoes, right? Like it's super weird.
You don't ask any questions
No,
either. Like,
right?
how is this possible?
No.
What about Swanson's, like those microwavable dinners? The Swanson's meat.
TV dinners.
The meat.
I used to kill those. Hungry man? Are you kidding me?
Bro, Salisbury steak.
It's terrible now.
With that little thing of mashed potatoes.
Yes.
Powdered potato.
Right? Oh,
Yes.
you're right. It was powdered potatoes.
Yes, and
100%.
Shum brought up Michelinas. Oh
Yeah.
man, I used to be heavy in the Michelina game.
See, I was too old by the time Michelinas came out, right? Like I never ate those. Like ours were literally like TV dinners with the foil, like with the foil tray, and you'd pop it in the oven, but you had to cut the foil off the meat part, but leave it on the dessert
Vegetables.
part, or leave it on the vegetables.
Yeah.
Yes, like there was instructions on, like you had to like really take care of it, right?
Because the square of butter would have to heat under the plastic.
Yes, yeah, not the plastic. It was tinfoil. It was
a tinfoil,
metal.
yeah.
It was metal because you could only cook it in the oven, right? Like it was still a process. Like
Oh, we should get a couple of Hungry Mans in
I
here.
know.
And just see.
I
a
used to
taste test.
love, bro, the fried chicken TV dinner with those 3 pieces that didn't even resemble any part of a chicken that I'd ever seen before. Oh man, that was so good. It was so good. And I used to, and I remember I used to love the ones that came with mixed peas, carrots,
Yes.
and corn. I didn't like it when it just had peas. Right? I used to like the mixed. Not
No,
it.
the one Hungry Man that had like ribs
Yeah.
in it. Man, when I used to get those were like special for me.
Wow.
Because I thought it was like
I've never seen ribs in a Hungry Man.
Yeah, like I thought I was I was like, oh man, this is eating. This is living right here.
Damn. Damn.
Yo, Shannon, you're the best. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. That was a great question.
Thank you guys so much. I really have to say, you guys have been amazing. I've been dealing a lot with like postpartum depression and anxiety and stuff. And there's a lot of times where at night after my little guy goes to bed, I just kind of go into another room and I just listen to you guys, and it makes me feel just.
Oh, girl.
Oh, girl, we got you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
All right.
You guys are
Anytime you need us, we're here. Whether it's on the podcast or you want to reach out. Okay.
Okay. Thank you guys. I love you guys.
You can come up with as many different names as you want to and just keep calling us.
Perfect.
Okay?
Hi, Shannon. Love
Little
you, girl.
Rolodex of names.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
love you
bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Richard has a real stupid question.
Before we
Oh.
get to that, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
So I'm in the grocery store the other day because I was just thinking about this. I'm in the grocery store the other day. When did Mrs. Dash just become Dash? You know those seasonings, the
Yeah.
containers?
Oh.
They dropped the Mrs.
Did she get a divorce?
I don't know. It's now just Dash. There's no Mrs. Dash anymore.
Don't know.
I used-
Didn't
I-
even notice.
We used to love Mrs. Dash, right? And now,
Do you still buy it?
no, not in forever.
2020, Roz.
Is that when it was?
Yes.
Why?
It's still MrsDash.com, but you're right. It's just Dash.
It's just Dash. There's no Miss. I used to love a Mrs. Dash. When I first started cooking, I was always like, oh, yeah, grab some Mrs. Dash. They had like lemon pepper, like all this other stuff,
The company
right?
didn't explain, in an article here, the company didn't explain why Mrs. Dash is dropping those 3 little letters. But the newly shortened name is supposed to signify quickly.
You know what I realized,
one
Maureen? You're
can-
incapable of reading. You can't read more than 3 sentences, can you?
Yeah,
Before
Like, is
it
there
all starts
something
to break
funny on the
down.
page, or
like
you
it all
just-
starts to break down.
You're just choking up.
yeah. So there you go.
Serious matter here.
What's happened to you?
Okay.
2020.
Mrs. Dash, like they were selling a lifestyle, and then they got rid of the Mrs.
Was she ever on the logo? Like a picture of her?
No, it just said Mrs.
just said
Dash.
Mrs. Dash,
Yeah,
huh?
but I wanted like, was there
Interesting.
ever an actual Mrs. Dash, or like somebody who started the company? But yeah, there was never a Mr. Dash.
There's no real life Mrs. Dash. The seasoning was developed in the early 1980s by Carol Burnick, who was then a marketing executive.
No, and they didn't want to call it Mrs. Burnick.
like I said, they were selling a lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Because my ma, as soon as Mrs. Dash came out, you couldn't it was all the mas were talking about,
Yeah.
right? If you tried the Mrs. Dash, and like one would have one, and then like another lady went to like a different store where she found like another, and like they would swap.
They would
Right?
share Mrs. Dash?
Yes.
Damn.
They were passing around Mrs. Dash around my town.
All right, let's get to this next question. Real stupid from Richard. It says, if you drop If you drop soap on the floor, is the floor clean or is the soap dirty?
Oh, shut up,
Oh,
Richard.
Jesus. The soap is dirty. Come on, man.
No, it's not. Neither.
What? The
On the
floor is
floor?
not. The floor is not clean.
No, but like if you drop the soap, you're not like leaving it there for days. You pick it up immediately.
Nah, I
No,
think
there's
the
constant water flow. It's not dirty down there.
Well, I think the soap is 100% dirty.
But then what do you do with it?
You clean it.
Sure, but the soap is still dirty. You have to clean it. That's what.
Why
if
is
it
it
wasn't
dirty?
if it
What
wasn't
made it
dirty?
dirty?
If it wasn't dirty, why would you be cleaning it?
Well, because it's soap.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you just like dust it off or whatever. Just wipe it off.
I mean, unless there's a hair on it from
So
below.
if the soap, okay, which is, so wait a second. So if you drop the soap on the floor, it's dirty, right?
Correct.
But if you put the soap in your bum, it's clean?
I'd never do that.
No, you take
I
some
don't-
on your finger and do it that way.
On your
Yeah.
finger.
I mean,
You don't swish around soap on the
You
bar
got
and
a
then put
weird-
it to your bum?
On your finger? Maybe if you said hand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell the truth.
Not your finger. Who washes their butt like this? Right?
Okay, let's move on. I can't have
Like you're trying, like it's like you're trying to, like you got an itch, you got like a leg cast, and you got to stick a pencil down there.
I can't have an
Right?
image of Dammit Maury naked in the shower with his finger in his
I
butt.
picture Dammit Maury holding the bar of soap in his hand, taking just one finger and rubbing it vigorously back and forth on it, and then
Lather
taking
it up?
lather it up, and then taking that one finger to get all in under there.
Yes, exactly.
One finger?
Yes.
why not your hand?
Why not your hand?
I only need one finger.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Richard. Stupid question.
So what, clean?
No.
Robin says here, if you would quit your jobs, not suggesting that you do, what will be your most epic way to resign?
Well, I once, when I quit the movie theater, and because I did all the marquee letters, I threw out all the letters except FUCKYOU.
Oh, wow. Were they treating you poorly?
Yeah.
How?
No, it's just the boss at the time was really not a nice lady.
Yeah.
So I quit, and was what I did.
But did you
I
leave
would
the
never do
letters?
that. Looking back, I thought it was a horrible thing to do, but I just answering the question, that's what I did.
But did you leave the letters up on the marquee like that, or you just left them?
No, it
just-
wasn't on the marquee. It was in the marquee room. Like I got rid of all the letters except
But did you
those ones.
spell it out?
No, I just left them in their bin.
Oh, so they maybe didn't even put it all together.
Probably not.
Oh, fail.
That's
What did you?
not the flex you think it is.
back in the day, you know what I mean? Like there's one person responsible for the marquee letters. Right now, that person would have 12 jobs.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
what
I did concession. I did the marquee. I did posters.
Oh, okay.
And like
posters was a job.
Yeah.
My
But
God.
marquee, I'll tell you, it was a very hard job because in the wintertime,
All that spelling.
he had the spelling. But you would have to go up because you'd have to take the previous letters down and they're frozen.
Yeah.
So you'd have to bang the sign to break off the ice and then take off one letter, go in and warm up.
Damn.
Did you
Yeah.
ever misspell any of the movie titles? Because we all know that your spelling and grammar is terrible.
Well, no, I had a piece of paper to go by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like you drive by the movie theater and it says like 1 p.m. first showing of Terminator.
No.
No.
How much did you get paid for that job?
This was $13 an hour.
Yeah.
That's not bad, by the way.
Yeah. What year was that?
1997.
Wow.
Balling at $13 an hour.
Well, because I did so many jobs
Yeah. $13 an hour in 97.
and I worked all the time. I was always there.
Yeah.
Roz.
Yes, sir.
What would you do?
Like, how would I
be
quit?
Your most epic way to resign?
I think my most epic way to resign would be I would just disappear. You would just never see me again. Like I wouldn't do any sort of like shaking my fist and like telling people off. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm not that kind of guy. I would just not show up. And then people would be like, well, do you think he's coming in? And like, I would just sit there all day watching my phone ring and not
ignoring.
answering it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's because like don't you have
Yeah.
to give like some sort of this many weeks notice? Like can you just not do that?
Who, like in this job that we have now?
I guess or any job. I guess do you have to?
No, listen, you don't have to
There's
give anything.
ways. There's ways around.
You don't have to give anything. You can not show up. They're not going to go to your house and put you in a car and force you to, do your shift at Pita Pit, right? Like, they're not going to.
You feel those pitas.
Like they're not going to abduct you because you didn't show up for your shift, right? Like, you can just not show. But you, Mocha?
I think because I have so much control over all the equipment here,
Yeah.
and because of the hours that we work,
Right.
where there's very little to nobody around
Yeah.
outside of this room, I think I could easily put the radio station on halt,
Yeah.
stop everything down,
Right.
leave the microphones on.
Yeah.
I could say every single swear word that I know and then just walk out.
And you would do that with the children listening?
just leave. And same thing.
I'm sure that's happened.
And just same thing what you said, Roz.
Yeah.
Like phone lines would be blowing up, right? Text messages would be going off.
Yeah.
And I would not answer the phone or reply to a single text.
Why don't you just load up Rick Astley and then leave, and then it's just going to be Rick Astley over and over again on Kiss?
Hold on here. When was
You
this?
could Rickroll Canada.
I wouldn't do that. I would just leave silence.
You think that's funny, Maury?
Well, but Mocha, after 30 seconds, then the backup thing sort of starts.
Hold on. Let me just...
So there wouldn't be that much silence.
Just wait. Hold on. Hold on here. Can I play you something real quick?
Yeah.
This is... I don't know if this is real. Maybe you guys could tell me if this is real or not. Remember this one? Inetta the Moonsetta? Remember this woman? She was a DJ on air somewhere. So here, let me play this for you.
Gulf Coast #1 for hip hop and R&B, and now with Ray and Miranda, the home team in the morning.
Right?
Do it to it. What better song to do it to it? It's Inetta the Moonset, and I told you I had a very important announcement, and here it is. I refuse to walk around and watch people on my job looking over my shoulder, people lying to me, people talking about me. It's ridiculous. It is sad. I can't take it. I'm not gonna take it. I don't have to take it. I'm not a dummy. I know how to find another job, but I refuse to walk around people. You can say what you want to say about me, and if you see me on the street, I'll let you know whatever you want to know. But I refuse. For the last 6 years, I made $6 an hour. That ain't nothing. I just got a raise after 6 years. I know I'm qualified, and after saying this, I don't care if I ever get another job in radio, period. It does not matter to me. But I never will not be setting the mood at BLX no more. I refuse to walk around with people that'll speak to you. Hey, Anetta, how you doing? But then as soon as you walk by, that bitch, I will not do it to myself anymore. So if you're confused about what I'm saying, listen very carefully. I quit this bitch.
On a big station.
Amazing.
Right?
Wow.
Inetta the Moonsetter.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dallas says here, what position would you play on a hockey team?
I did play hockey for many years.
What position did you play then, damn it?
I was defense.
There you go. Shem, what would you play?
I play goalie.
Roz, what position would you play?
I played hockey for, I think, 1 year. And it was defense, I think. Same as Maury. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have trophies.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I do not have trophies from hockey. And I would not even know where they were had I.
Oh,
had
they're in
trophies
the
from
box in the
hockey.
basement.
Really, huh?
I always wanted to play goalie.
Yeah.
That was always my favorite.
Yeah.
But growing up, my dad couldn't afford to put me in hockey.
Oh,
so it
it's
was always just
expensive.
street hockey.
Yeah.
Holy scary. All those things being thrown at you.
Yeah, it's
Thanks, it's a
hockey is very, very expensive to get into.
I don't think my dad wanted to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and go drive to the arena.
That's
with
the
all
thing.
that equipment, right?
No, that's the thing. A buddy of mine, I was talking to him on the weekend. His daughter just joined the rowing team at her school. 5:30 a.m. now. Is when he's going to drop her off. 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, drop her off.
Drop her off.
Not leave.
No, drop her off.
Send her in an Uber.
At 5:30 in the morning. Kids get into stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
your kid gets into hockey and you're in that sort of junior league and your first game Saturday morning, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Right? It's just
and
the way
I
it
already
goes.
thought, so with Cruz, he races go-karts.
Yeah.
And I already thought the hours that we wake up on the weekends to go to the track, because we're at the track every single weekend during the season. We're up at 6:30.
Yeah.
And then on the road at about 7:30 to make it to the track for 8 a.m.
8 a.m.'s not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I remember when I was young, puck dropped at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. was the first game. Six
So
to,
what, you have to
6
get
to
there
8 and then
5,
8
maybe?
to 10. Yeah. I know. I would just get my when you're that young. Okay. So you want to know embarrassing? Okay. Here's embarrassing. Okay. So I had never played hockey before, but I grew up in a town where it was a hockey town.
Sure.
Right. And you're going to play hockey. That's just the way it is. Right. And I was very interested in hockey. I love watching hockey. And I didn't really know how to skate either. So I figured it was just all super easy. I had skated on like class trips and stuff like this. I was okay, but I was not hockey good. Yeah. Right. Especially because all these kids have been playing their whole lives since they were like 4. And okay, so my game was one of those 6 a.m. games. And it was the night before. We were talking about like how early it was and everything. And so my mom had said, well, why don't you just get dressed at home?
Yeah.
And then when you get to the rink, all you have to do is put your skates on. Right?
Wait, get dressed at home like when you wake up or the night before?
No, like when I wake up in the morning, like so my dad didn't have to go as early, right?
Okay.
So I would be at home and I would put all my hockey gear on.
Oh my God, so heavy.
I would put all my hockey gear on, okay, and then just like my winter boots, right? And then just bring my skates and my stick to the rink. And I thought this was normal and also genius. I thought that this is what all the kids did. And then so everybody else gets dropped off. We're all getting dropped off at the rink. And I walked in because I showed up late because I was already ready. And I walk into the dressing room at like a junior hockey in a very hockey town, fully ready to go straight from home. And I was a loser.
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
I was the guy who got dressed at home.
Because your mom said
and
so.
then not only that, they didn't send me with any clothes afterwards. So I had to go in the car home.
Oh,
So when everybody else was getting undressed and back into their regular clothes, I sat there in all my gear waiting for my dad to...
So hot and heavy.
So hot. It was so heavy, right?
Oh,
it was the worst. It was the worst.
And at that point, what are you, like 6 hours in?
Oh, yeah, and I sucked.
Wearing all that stuff?
And I felt so terrible because I was an awful player. I didn't know the rules.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to stand. Like, I didn't know any of that stuff. I played 2 games, right?
And
then that was it. Yeah, that was it. It wasn't for me.
Before we go back to the phones, let's answer this question from Christina, who says, if you have 2 tasks, one easy and one difficult, which do you do first? Do you tackle the one that requires more energy and focus, or do you work up to it by getting the easy one out of the way?
I always do the hard stuff first.
No, I'm the opposite. I get rid of the easy task, get that out of the way, so I can focus all my attention on the more difficult task.
Yeah, it's interesting. I will often do the difficult one first because I don't lack motivation. Mm-hmm. If somebody is the type of individual who lacks motivation, I will always flip it and recommend they do the easy one first, just so out of the gate you automatically get a sense of fulfillment. Mm-hmm. You get a sense of accomplishment, and then that motivates you to go and do the tough one.
Sure.
Because if you start with the tough one, if you lack motivation, you may not finish it. And then, so you're going to leave that there and then give up and go and do the easy one. You will never go back to the other one.
I just feel if I do attempt the hard task first, and I spend too much time on it, then I may run out of time to take care of the easier task, right? If the easier task is going to take me half the amount of time or even a quarter amount of the time, I'll just get rid of that one first so I can focus all my energy and spend more time on the more difficult task.
Right.
I just feel more proud. Like you get the hard stuff done first and then you're kind of proud.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Like I get that. I just am so conscious about my time that I will do the thing that's going to take the most time first usually.
Shem.
Yeah, I would tend to say that I'd like to get the hard stuff done first because then it's like a reward getting the easy one done like second. You know what I mean? I don't want to end on a potentially deflating note.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Let's head back to the phones here. Kaylin, how are you? It's Roz Mocha.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. What's your question?
My question is, what's something you guys wish you had done when you had the chance, but you're not able to do it anymore?
Oh, good question. What's your answer?
When I was going into grade 10, there's like this special program that a bunch of my friends signed up for, but I decided not to because it would have been a lot of work. But since a bunch of my friends got in and left the school, I didn't have many people I knew at the school, and they all said it was fun. So I wish I had done that.
Mm-hmm.
What course was it?
It was called Trek.
Trek?
Yeah. I live in Vancouver. And it's like a half the year is like outdoor stuff. The other half of the year is actual schoolwork.
Oh yeah, we had that. We had that at my
okay,
school too.
okay,
My
okay.
high school. Yeah. Where kids like literally would disappear for half the year because
Really?
they would go. They would go to a whole different place. Like they were just outdoors for half the year, and
Oh,
it was like
wow.
senior year where they would
What
do
would it
that.
teach you, like just survival skills,
Like it
living
was,
outdoors?
yeah, no, it was like, yeah, just like outdoor stuff. Like they would learn all about plants and gardening and, all like everything, right?
Yeah.
Like rocks and trees, but also how to, survive, but also how to be like a camp counselor because it was, that's good summer work if you could get it, as a camp counselor.
Yeah.
They paid real well. But yeah, no, like it was weird because, and you didn't know which kids were going to do it. They would just disappear for half the year. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, more.
I was going to say buy a cottage.
Buy a cottage. When did you have that opportunity, though?
I'd say if we purchased our condo and a cottage at the same time,
You would never have been approved for that, though.
or maybe, right?
But
maybe.
you were barely approved for the mortgage that you have now.
Yeah.
Because if we bought the condo when it pre-built or something, then it would have been half the cost and then buy the cottage. Now everything is over millions.
Right. But you didn't have Matthew before pre-build, did you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah?
Yeah, we just sat on it for a while.
Interesting. Yeah,
Roz,
so
you have an answer?
yeah, and I'm sort of like with Maury, like I will always go back to, what I could have done that would have either been a great investment or made me money or what. Like I don't have oh man, I wish I did this experience while I had the chance and now it no
Yeah.
longer exists kind of thing. Like I don't have any of that. Like there's no sort of events that I missed as far as, concerts or cultural things. Like I don't really have any of that stuff that I would sort of want to go back and do. But yeah, sort of like real estate stuff. I think that,
Or investing in Apple stock.
yeah, I mean, we can all say that, right? But I think that, I think real estate stuff, I think that had I known today, when we started this show, and I was so distracted when we started this show because it was 2009, and we had a lot going on. Catherine was pregnant, and you and I were doing this and everything. Like there was just a lot
You were still
going
doing
on.
the TV show, ET
I was
Canada,
still doing the TV
right?
show. And what had happened was that was right in the middle of the U.S. and global financial crisis, where all the banks were folding, and Occupy Wall Street was happening, and the real estate market in America, like that. There was that movie that was Too Big to Fail or something like that came out when the real estate market in America crashed, where houses were worth nothing.
Yeah.
And we had too much going on in our lives up here to really recognize what was happening. And I wish now that I should have bought something in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's
same
Florida or
thing.
California or something like that, because you can go now and look at history of properties, like even if like a beautiful place, Santa Barbara or like Palm Springs, whatever it is, California, these houses that are for sale, you can go through and look at the history of what they've sold for in the past. And I was looking at one 3 weeks ago where this house is $2.1 million and it's beautiful, but they did a reno, pre-reno. In 2015, it sold for $800,000.
Oh my God.
In 2009, it sold for $210,000.
See?
my God.
You see?
Yeah,
right.
my answer, Kaylin, is similar to Roz's. Is just like investing, really, right? You mentioned about the property back when, and we talk about this all the time. But DJ Climax and I and some of our other friends, we go to Vegas yearly.
Yep. Yeah.
And one year it was during the crisis.
Yep.
And they were building this brand new condo in front of Aria. And Aria Hotel and Casino, and all the units there were going for dirt cheap. And we were all like, oh man, wouldn't it be great if we just invested? But none of us had like the kind of money to, even though it was cheap compared to what it is now, we just didn't have the kind of money or resources yet to make that purchase. But now seeing that, what that part of town is like and how much those places go for now, you always think back like, what if,
Bro,
right?
like those places too. Like I remember because my brother's in-laws live in Vegas. And during the crisis, the houses were like they owed more on their house than their house was worth when the market fell through, which was crazy. So you couldn't even sell, right?
Yeah.
They owed more on the mortgage than what they would actually be able to sell. And they had lived there for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. That's how much there was one hotel. It might have been Caesars, like one of the sort of older hotels. They were offering on a floor suites. So there was a tiny kitchenette, like it wasn't a real kitchen, right? And then a little living room and the bedroom, right, at Caesars.
Yeah.
And I think at the time to purchase outright that suite was like $240,000.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah. It was crazy.
I think it was like 7 or 8 years ago when I was in Vegas and our either cab or Uber driver struck up a conversation and he had, because his phone kept going off, right? He was apologizing. And he was then telling us afterwards that he had been like on the phone with banks and this and that and this and that because he had just bought and wanted to reno this 4-bedroom house just outside of like the main area of Vegas, just off the strip.
Yeah.
He bought a 4-bedroom for $180,000.
Isn't that crazy?
And he was just looking for more money so he can do the renos.
That is
on the
so
place.
amazing.
Right?
That's
Yo,
so
Kaylin,
crazy.
amazing question. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being a part of the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for doing your show, guys. Love it.
Take care, man.
God.
Yeah, you too.
All right, one more question. This one's coming from Willie. It says, for you, Roz, because you used to play guitar, what is or was Roz's favorite song to play on the guitar?
Oh, jeez.
Do you have one that back in the day you would always, it was like your go-to?
Yeah, I mean like power ballads and stuff like that.
Like Extreme More Than Words?
No, I had a friend that used to play that all the time. I never liked the song. I always thought they were wusses.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorites.
No, I know. I mean, it was a song. Girls like that song. Not like I used to like Extreme, but their other stuff. Like More Than Words is fine. Nuno Betancourt, by the way, you guys have no idea who this guy is.
No.
So he's the guitar player for Extreme, right?
Okay.
When Eddie Van Halen died, Nuno Betancourt became the best guitar player in the world.
Oh, okay.
And you probably have no idea like who he is. But he plays in Extreme and he does all this other stuff. You know whose guitar player he is and has been for a long time?
Who?
Rihanna.
What? Oh. No way.
Yeah. He's been Rihanna's touring guitar player for like ever.
Really?
Yeah. Because like somebody in like Rihanna's organization was like, they went looking for the best.
Yeah.
And they approached Nuno at some point and was like, hey, do you want to be the guitar player? And he was like, hell yeah. But this guy plays like no other human being has ever played guitar. Like he's really like Eddie Van Halen died, and now Nuno Betancourt is like the greatest living guitar player of all time.
Yeah, Cecil since 2009, and he performed recently at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was at the Super Bowl with her.
Wow.
Yeah. He was at the Super Bowl with her. So I did love Extreme. I really did, but not so much that song. Hold on here. Let me find something for you. This was such a great guitar lick, man. Okay, hold on here.
Would we know the band?
I don't know. Yeah, it's Iron Maiden.
Oh, okay.
So here, let me play this. I don't even know when this album came out. Maybe like the early 80s or something like that. So this was the lick that I used to sit in my basement and work on over and over and over and over again. Woe to you. Oh, yeah, it starts with Vincent Price talking.
Oh.
For the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666.
I left alone. My mind was blank. I needed time to think, to get the memories from my mind.
Okay, when he goes high, Shem, you tell me. I want your reaction, okay?
I'm ready.
When he hits the note.
What did I see? Can I believe that what I saw that night was real and not just fantasy? Just what I saw in my old dreams.
I still love this.
Were the reflections of my Walkman staring back at me? 'Cause in my dreams, it's always there. The face that twists my mind and brings me to despair.
This song smells.
Damn.
Anyway, that was a song that I used to jam out to in my basement for a while.
notes.
So this bit crazy with this band. So the singer, right? Like he was like in one of the greatest metal bands of all time, and he wanted to be a pilot as well, but like a big jet pilot. And so he sort of did that on the side. And now when they tour, they have their giant Iron Maiden like 747, but he flies it.
No.
But when he flies it, he wears his like pilot outfit, like with the white shirt,
really?
with the things on the with the hat, and no joke.
Do you think? Does he like make the announcements? Like
yes,
yes. Like, hey guys, is your pilot speaking?
Yes.
Also your best bud.
Yes.
Be cool back there.
Yes, he does. It's the craziest thing. So he lands looking like a pilot with like the little leather briefcase and everything else, and then he goes to the hotel and he puts on leather pants, I guess, or whatever the hell he wears now. And he hits the stage, then takes a shower and flies the band to like Argentina and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. So that I think was a song that I played the most just on guitar because it was such a fun guitar riff. Yeah, when I was a kid.
This has been a great Ask Roz and Mocha podcast. Keep those questions coming in when we post once a week a photo that reads Ask Roz and Mocha on Instagram, by the way, at Kiss925, and we'll get two of you to join us on a future episode. This has been the Roz and Mocha Show podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Catch the guys live
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10
on Kiss 92.5.
Kiss925.com.
Or download the Kiss 92.5 app.